This week, I'm going to show you how to transition from improvising just using one simple pentatonic scale like this, into using the chord changes and sounding much more pro like this. Kind of thing, you know, where you're using the chord tones and you sound like you're making the changes. It's going to be pretty simple. It's called the Make the Changes cheat code, and I've got an awesome PDF lined up for you to work through. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Right, if you want this PDF, it's yours for free. Just use the link that you can see there, and it's also in the old descriptione. There's B flat copies and E flat copies. We are looking at the first A section of the tune Cherokee, because it's got some nice little chord changes in it. Now, first of all, here is the C major pentatonic scale. Let's start with the basics. And if you only use that scale, you're going to sound not bad, you know, when you play Cherokee. Most of the notes will fit, so it's a great starting point. This is your main home base. And what we're going to do is sprinkle the sauce on top of it. Is that sauce? It looks more like spice. We're going to sprinkle the spice on top of the pentatonic. Now, why am I choosing Cherokee? Number one, it's got some nice standard chord changes in it. Number two, look at the melody. The melody, apart from one note, is pentatonic. So let's just have a little listen to the melody to refresh ourselves about what Cherokee sounds like. And then we go to the bridge. Wow, who knew I was an operatic singer? Right, so that's the melody, it's pentatonic, and here we now get into the chord changes. So, first of all, I've written out a little guide etude, a little sample solo, just over the first A of Cherokee. It is only using the pentatonic scale, all right? Only using the pentatonic scale. So here's what it sounds like. I'm going to slow things down a little bit. Voila! So there's the little guide solo, which we're going to now spice up with the chord tones to make it sound like you're making the changes. Now, full disclosure. This probably sounds better than the average solo that you're going to improvise using the pentatonic scale over Cherokee for a couple of different reasons. Number one, there is an abundance of great jazz language in there, okay? Boobadoo, beebadoo, boobadoo. And it's also played and written out there with proper phrasing. The crosses being ghosted or half-tongue notes. I've got videos on that. So playing with groove and great phrasing trumps everything you're going to learn about harmony in this lesson. You can play a much better solo with one note only on Cherokee if you play it with great phrasing and groove than if you play all the fancy notes and enclosures and bebop stuff, but you're not playing with swing. Okay, very, very important. So instead of just being that internet guy who's like, hey, here's a little pentatonic solo and it sounds like this, I am telling you that I have kind of, I am playing the ref a little bit here. But that is the basic pentatonic solo that we're going to work with. Oh, by the way, you know, little things as well. Like I didn't put an A natural in that bar. You know, because I kind of know what the harmony is going to look like. So little things, but there's the basic solo. Stop waffling, mate. And now let's have a look at what we can do. What are the important notes which are not in the pentatonic scale, which can lift our solo. Right. So first of all, let's look down here at the next section. So I've got a guide tone line. What is a guide tone line? Quite simple. It is selected notes from each chord which connect with each other and give you a lovely sort of melodic contour through the chords. So let's hear what the guide tone line sounds like. It's only whole notes, so I'm going to crank up the tempo a bit so that we're not here all day. Here's what the guide tones sound like. Okay, they are the guide tone lines. Now, what are they? I've written the actual chord degree beneath each note for you. So let's have a little look. The first one, I'm using the 6th. I'm using C6. You could just use the B on C major 7, but I've gone for the 6th. It's kind of like the sound of the tune in a way. Right, now here is the first really important one, okay? B flat. B flat is not in C pentatonic, nor is it even in C major. So this is the vital note, is hitting the B flat here, okay? It's the minor third of G minor 7, and it's also the flattened 7th of C7. We are changing key, sort of. We're changing key to chord 4, right? There is chord 4. And it's really important that you hit that B flat in B flat pitch when you're improvising on this song, because that is the key note, all right? That's the first thing to remember. Right, then we get on to, we've got the A, the third of the F major 7, but the next really important note is the A flat. A flat is not even in the key of F, nor is it in the key of C. It's this F minor 6 chord, which is the kind of old-fashioned way of writing it. Most people, or if you look in the real book, probably say B flat 7. A B flat 7 going to a C is what's known as a backdoor dominant 7th. Don't worry about it. I've done a video on backdoor dominance, but as far as we're concerned, it's an F minor 6. But we're not even concerned about that. What we're really concerned about is that fact that it's an A flat. So far we've got 2 notes. We've got 1 different note, 2 different notes. Then we potter down to the next line. You've got the 5th of C major 7, which is fine. We're not worried about that. And then you've got a D7 chord, and the F sharp is the next really vital note. This is called a secondary dominant. The previous one was a backdoor dominant if you use a B flat 7. This is called a secondary dominant because it's a dominant to a dominant. The dominant is G, and D7 is a dominant of G. Secondary dominant. See how it works? But who cares about the theory? All we need to know is that the F sharp is not in C pentatonic, but it's the vital note which gives you the je ne sais quoi of D7. It gives it the actual the flavour of D7. Right, so there's our third juicy note. Then we go down to the final line, and we've got C, which is the flattened 7th of D minor 7, no big deal. But there's the C sharp. Now you might say this is also a secondary dominant. A7 is a secondary dominant to D minor, so a couple of different secondary dominants. But who cares? The main thing is that C sharp is not in C pentatonic, but it's giving you the essential sound of that A chord. So that is our fourth juicy note. And just, for good measure at the end, by the way, I'll do it a little dotted, well, badly dotted bracket around that one. There's a B. B is, the leading note of the key, and it's not in C pentatonic, so that's a good one to hit. Right, but the 4 that we're concentrating on are the 4 that you can see there. So remember, you can go and get the free PDF worksheet. That looked like a little beaver, didn't it? Go and get the PDF. If that doesn't make the outtakes, nothing will. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our guide solo and we're going to tweak it, okay? We're going to twang it. And we're going to add in the really key notes. But just before we do that, let me play a simple pentatonic solo, and then let me play a solo emphasizing, which way is it? I can never do it looking at the camera. Emphasizing those 4 different notes. So version 1, let's get back to a kind of sensible tempo. Version 1 is just 100% pentatonic. All right, here we go. Okay, 100% pentatonic. That was all good. Now, let's throw in the 4 juicy notes, and you'll see how much more pro and, authentic it sounds. That's the B flat. There's the A flat. There's the F sharp. C sharp. There's the B. All right, so you can hear how much it stands out, and it really captures the sound of the chord sequence just with 4 extra notes. Yes, folks, I told you it was a cheat code. I'll do that again without chatting. Let's go back. Not the greatest solo I've ever played in my life, but I'm just illustrating the point. Real quick before we go back and see how we're going to tweak that etude, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's not down there, it's the other side. I can never point the right way. It's really going to help me reach more enthusiastic sax players just like you. So if you're loving it, do me a faves, do me old faves, geezer, and subscribe to the channel. You might not be a geezer, sorry about that. And the next thing is make sure you go and get the free PDF for today's lesson. That will sort you right out. That's a really cool cheat code crib sheet, B flat and E flat on that one PDF. And if you have not done so already, I invite you to check out my free, yes, I said free, Saxophone Success Masterclass. It's a whole hour of me teaching you cool stuff, which is going to help you be a better sax player. Sounds good, right? The link is there. It's also in the description. You just click it, you fill in your email, and Robert is your father's brother. Let's get back to the lesson. Okay, now we get to the cool bit. This is where we see the magic unfold. We've got our 4, what can we call them? Keystone notes, keystone cops. We've got our 4 keystone notes, which are going to give us the sound of making the changes, whilst predominantly sticking to our pentatonic. So you've got your home base, your comfort zone, and then just those 4 notes that, like a scalpel, when you're improvising, you are gonna, surgically insert these notes, and you're gonna sound like a complete pro, whilst really you're only using Lord of the Rings 1 scale to rule them all for most of the time. So very, very cool. Here we go. So let's have a little look at our etude, which is now being twanged. All right. First phrase. So I've swapped out the C for the B flats instead of it's, and that gives the sound of the 2-5-1 to chord 4, just using 1 note. Pretty cool. The next 2 bars are exactly the same. Then we swap out the G that I had before for an A flat. Now that's really cool sort of, melodic repetition as well, which makes that phrase sound really good. Very good. Now we move on to the 3rd line, and the first 2 bars until the last 8th note are the same. So the F sharp is our 3rd, juicy note, which is going to make you sound like you're making the changes. And then we're the same. So that C sharp is the 3rd of the A chord, which really gives it its sound. And that C sharp is going to change into a C natural again. With a squeak. And there's this other little bonus note, the B there from the G7. The B is not in C pentatonic, so it also gives the sound of the chords. But the 4 big ones are the B flat, the A flat, the F sharp, and the C sharp. So let's hear our newly improved etude over the backing track. Right, then it's not exactly the same because the second time ending, but there you go. That gives you the sort of vibe of what you can do to really make it sound like you're making the changes whilst predominantly sticking to the pentatonic from the home key. And you can do this in other standards. In fact, inside the Inner Circle bonus video, and that's a good reason to join the Inner Circle for a start. It's a free 7-day trial, so you've got nothing to lose. I shall explain how to do this on another chord sequence so you can see it happening. But, you know, time is our enemy on YouTube, my friend. So that's what we've got today for you. I hope it's been really useful. The important thing is the strategy. You look for those little keynotes and you throw them in at the right time, at the right place. And all your buddies in your community band or your, jazz band at your local pub, big band, whatever, they're going to be like, whoa, somebody's making the changes right now, guys. So you're welcome. Okay, just before I go, I did mention the Inner Circle, and that is because it's a fan-dabby, double-dozy place to be. It's fan-rific, as Hong Kong Fu would say. There's loads of really cool stuff in there, including a bonus video, a solo every month. It's the only way to get access to me, day in, day out, day in, day out. And it's very cheap. By the time you bought a coffee each day, you could be in the bleeding Inner Circle membership. So what are you waiting for? Link in the description. All right. PDF is there. I'm going to get you organized. The PDF is there. The masterclass is there. And they're all in the description. And until next week, what have I forgotten? Drop us a sub. Not there. There. Drop me a sub because, man, it's just hard to get subs, all right? And if you're watching this, there's a very good chance you're not subscribed. It's one click and you're in like Flynn. So I would really appreciate that because I'm trying to get up to get my first, YouTube, plaque, play button, whatever. My word, it's slow progress. So drop us a sub, will ya? And in the meantime, until the next video, make sure you practice hard, practice smart. Enjoy your music, my friend. See you later. Real quick before we... Real quick!